Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Alley Viper. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since I no longer have the packaging for this figure, since I have been sitting on it for almost a year now, yeah, kind of late to the game on this one, but hey, better late than never, I always say. So with that being said, why don't we just move right along and take a look-see at this guy's accessories, because there's a lot to unpack here. Not literally, but he does come with a lot of stuff. So, starting off, he comes with a sidearm. Typical for this line, I'm pretty sure this is the exact sidearm that Spirit came with, and that Duke came with, and that Flint came with, and Beachhead, and the regular Viper, and every other character in this line may come with one of these. Don't quote me on that, but I'm 90% sure it's a heavily reused gun, which is fine. It's a decent gun. He also comes with two little kniffs, which are exactly the same. Unlike Spirits, who are both different, these ones are identical. And both store on his person along with the sidearm, so that is cool. He also comes with two automatic weapons here. I don't know if these are realistic guns or not, but here's a closer look at this one, which is the one I prefer as far as an overall look goes. I think this one looks a little bit cooler. Has a removable clip. If you want to count that as an accessory, you can. I think these have hollowed out tips, so you can put some blast effects in there. And there's this one, which can somebody let me know what his main weapon is? I think one of these is extra. Excuse me. And one of them is based off the vintage toy. Can somebody let me know which one he carries most of the time? Because I will most likely give his extra gun to somebody else. Does have a removable clip on that one as well. Yeah, that's it. I think, yes, this one also feels like it has a hollowed tip on the end. Maybe. Don't quote me on that. On top of all that, though, he does come with a harpoon gun with, of course, a removable harpoon, which has a little loop, so you could provide your own little string to plug that in there. But that's how it's supposed to go together. And you can, of course, attach it to his backpack here. So if I line this up correctly, plugs on just like that. And, you know, brownie points to me, because my good buddy Vampire, friend of the channel, pointed this out. This is exactly how the vintage figure was displayed, with the harpoon facing that way, and the gun mounted on the back. So, I feel good about that, because I don't know my arse from a hole in the ground when it comes to G.I. Joe. I will fully admit that. I'm a fraud, not a true fan. Oh. That's such a stupid argument. I at least like the stuff, man. But I am proud that I was able to get that right on the first try, no less. And then, of course, what would Riot Police be without a shield? Literally, this guy comes with everything you could possibly want except a baton. I'm very surprised that Riot Police does not come with a baton. And I'm not complaining, but if he should have a baton, I would have probably done without one of these awesome-looking guns. Probably this one, because it's my least favorite, but I would rather have the guns than a baton just to share with other figures, but I feel like this guy needs a smack you upside the head baton. When I think of Riot Police, I think of dudes carrying batons and these shields. And this shield is also articulated, so you can mount it on either arm, which I appreciate. That's something we don't get from Masterverse with Mattel. It's usually one way or the highway with those, so to have a rotating shield so you can have it on either side is great. Well, actually, it's a symmetrical shield, so that actually doesn't matter. But either way, you know what I mean. You can articulate it, have it take up a little less space. But that is it. That is all of his accessories. So, taking a closer look at good old Alley Viper here. And a bit of a disclaimer, this is not how he comes out of the packaging. If you want to include this as an accessory, you can. But his visor is not attached, and it can flip up. You gotta put that on yourself, though. So that's cool. And this knife sheath was originally on this arm, but I popped the hands off and swapped it because this side has the up and down hand and this side has the in and out. So I will be putting his riot shield on this side and the gun in this hand, so I get that up and down range I like in the hand. That said, this guy pretty much shares a lot with the previous Viper, who in turn is basically a modified version of Nuke or Spirit, who we took a look at the other day. So he's your typical, you know, G.I. Joe classified articulation. His head is on a disc hinge, so you can look around and up a bit. That disc hinges on these are really freaking tight, so be careful with that. Yeah, that's really tight. His helmet kind of looks like a snake too, so that's pretty cool. But he does have the ball joint in the neck for a little added range there. His shoulders go out to the side, a right angle to the body. They do have that butterfly joint I don't like. This one kind of feels stuck on mine. I mean, it's kind of moving, but I don't know. I might hit it with some cold water again just to get that to work a little better, like I had to do with Spirit. This side, on the other hand, this side works fine. So we'll just work with this side, I guess. Put the arm back down. Rotates all around. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a little armband here, which I don't know if that's a separate piece or not. It feels like it's glued on there. That might be a whole new bicep. I don't... Yeah, that's either glued on there or it's all new biceps. So that's interesting. But he's got a bicep twist. He's got a double elbow. He's got the swivel hinge wrists. This side goes in and out. This side goes up and down. Now, he does have an ab crunch, but you're not going to get crap out of that, dude. Like, good luck. I heated this guy up a few minutes ago to try and loosen some things. And, yeah, you're not going to get anything out of this. It's too stiff in the middle there. But he does have a waist swivel that I did have to loosen up on mine. Because out of package, this thing was super tight. And so I wouldn't break it. I heated it up with the hot water initially, but I just went and hit him with the hairdryer. I think that's a little bit better. I popped his mask off. Holy cow. Alright. So that just happened. Okay, I think it's back on there. I think. As far as his hips go, he's got the drop downs. Again, be careful with these. On this body in particular, these have a tendency to be a little tight. But not the hip drop down itself, but the actual legs. Is this one stuck? Hold on. These are a lot tighter than... Weird. Either way, you can kick forward and back. Kick out, back down. He's got a thigh cut. He's got this little added pouch here. He's got a double knee. Which ain't gonna get much because he's got the straps, but it's just supposed to be a Riot Police, not Spider-Man, so should be fine with that. He's got a boot cut. He's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, you know, like I said with Sergeant Slaughter yesterday, he didn't quite feel like he was worth the $35 price point. If anything, you're paying for the name, which I guess is okay. I don't know. I feel like that's the company's responsibility, not ours as a customer or consumer or whatever. This guy comes loaded with stuff. I think he comes with more stuff than Spirit. And Spirit came with a freaking bird. So, you know, aside from not having like a baton, you know, if he's supposed to, that sucks. If he's not supposed to, then fair game. That's just my mind's eye view of Riot Police. I'm sorry. This guy's like the complete package. You know, I don't know what more I could possibly ask for with this figure. So why don't we gear him up a little bit here? Plugging his backpack in onto his back there. Get a better look at what he's like with all of his accoutrements, because he has quite a few. He's got this side arm here. Pop his arm up so I can get that in there. Alright. Push that in. Push that down. As far as his kniffs go, this one should slide in like this, I think. Because when you draw a knife, you want to have it so it goes away from your face, because that's right up on his chin, that one. And if I put it in the other way, he'd stab himself in the eye. I mean, I know that's kind of stupid physics, but it is what it is. And this one should go in like this on this arm. I think that's how that should go. If it's supposed to go in the other way, you know what, sue me. Maybe it's supposed to go in like this. You know, that's a lot tighter. I can't tell. This sheath is very symmetrical. But, I feel like that way it wouldn't fall out. But, you know what? We'll do it this way because that seems a bit more practical when you're trying to pull it out in battle. You can just go cut somebody. That's it. I'm going to put him with this gun here. Probably should have put this in his hand before I monkeyed with that knife, but that's okay. This gun's really easy to get in his hand, so we'll just do that. Then as far as the shield is concerned, I'm going to see if I can just slide it over his arm without popping the wrist off. Sometimes I have to do that. It's kind of a pain in the nougats. Ah, man, I don't want to go in. Do I have this going? Ah, it's the wrong way. So much fidgetiness with this figure. Not like bad fidgety, but fidgety enough to be kind of annoying. Gotta pop that hand over that. And then, well, you get the point. It's in his hand. It's fine. It's there. It works. It's doable. It's just kind of wedged in there for right now. But there he is. All of his gear. Looking pretty sweet. Definitely one of the better Joes to come out this year. I know some people had this guy in, like, I don't know, October of freaking 21. But for all of us normies who don't get, like, review samples and, you know, have to pay for our stuff, low-key, most of us didn't get this guy until 2022. So he will be a contender for one of the top Joes. He's not my favorite, but I do like him a lot. He comes with a lot of stuff. And just another example of how the G.I. Joe team is making the Marvel team look like a bunch of chumps. So with that being said, before this review drags out any longer than it already has, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is the Alley Viper, alongside what I think is the best army builder of 2022, despite the fact that some people out there got him in late 21, the Cobra Bat, aka the Battle Android Trooper, if I'm not mistaken, and nothing against the Alley Viper here, but I feel like the Cobra Bat is overall a more fun figure, and on top of that, he is a 100% unique pinless sculpt, so he has a lot going for him. That said, we also have a Stum Shadow who's trying to bounce back from the Spirit review, where I sided with Spirit even though I just got him like a week ago. I don't know, man. Even though he's not here, I can't stop talking about that figure. It is such a solid release in this line. But as far as the complete overall package is concerned, I feel like Storm Shadow is getting the short end of the stick here, because he could have come with his grapple hook or an alt head or some fist hands, whereas I feel with both the Bat and the Alley Viper, we pretty much get everything we could possibly need. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, Living Spawn as usual, towers over everyone. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think good old Al Simmons here would appreciate riot police such as the Alley Viper mucking up his alley. So before things get hectic here, let's now move on and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and at the end of the day, I totally see why my buddy T-Biz wants to army build these guys. That said, though, even though I am pretty late to the game with this review, I wanted to put my thoughts out there for this figure because once again, the G.I. Joe Classified Series team just keeps releasing banger after banger after banger after probably several more bangers because for the price point that they charge for these things, I'm fully satisfied with what you're getting here. You get a lot of accessories, a lot of unique pieces, and a lot of paint apps. I mean, this guy looks like freaking Deathstroke from DC Comics for crying out loud. And that gives him bonus points. It might not make him my favorite, but it definitely gives him bonus points. So I will definitely take that into consideration when I'm putting together my top 10 Classified Series figures of 2022. Which again, since I'm a normie and don't get review samples like some of you guys out there, I got this guy in 2022, therefore he is a 2022 release. Just like the Cobra Bat, Spirit, Storm Shadow, and that Cobra Officer I actually don't have yet. So, got a little catch up to do. I mean, I am reviewing this guy almost a year late, but during my 10-year anniversary week-long marathon extravaganza poll that I put up, I did throw this guy in there, and a couple of you guys did want me to review this figure then. However, I did not have enough space left during the week to do it. So I figured I would do my due diligence and give you guys my thoughts on this guy. Even though it is late, I figured you guys would appreciate it nevertheless. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. If you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil. The world sucks enough as it is, especially when I review a figure this good, this late. I mean, what the heck was I smoking reviewing all those crappy Marvel Legends repaint figures, right? And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.